You've invested in cutting-edge firewalls, biometric security, and AI-driven threat detection. But none of that matters when Karen from HR thinks the Prince of Nigeria really needs her help. In 2024, hackers aren't just exploiting software. They're exploiting our trust, our habits, and our unquenchable thirst for free stuff. It's like building an indestructible vault but handing out keys because someone promised free donuts. Human error is still the hacker's favorite playground. Number 10. Distributed denial of service attacks, flooding the system. In 2024, distributed denial of service attacks have continued to escalate, targeting both small and large enterprises, including critical infrastructure. A distributed denial of service attack is designed to overwhelm a server, service, or network by sending a flood of internet traffic, rendering the service inaccessible to legitimate users. These attacks have also become more sophisticated, utilizing amplification techniques that involve leveraging domain name system, network time protocol, and simple network management protocol servers. This means a small amount of attack traffic can be amplified many times over, leading to highly disruptive consequences in just a few minutes. For businesses to defend against distributed denial of service, the most effective measures include implementing rate limiting, deploying web application firewalls, and using dedicated anti-distributed denial of service hardware and software solutions. These solutions help monitor for abnormal traffic spikes and mitigate them before they can cause significant damage. Number 9. Ransomware, held for ransom in the digital age. Ransomware remains one of the most significant threats of 2024, with attacks up by 50% compared to 2023. Hackers use ransomware to encrypt data on a victim's computer, demanding a ransom usually in cryptocurrency, before restoring access. In recent months, ransomware as a service has become increasingly common, enabling even less skilled hackers to launch ransomware attacks with ease. The use of cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Monero has further complicated efforts to track ransom payments, adding another layer of anonymity for criminals. High-profile cases include attacks on healthcare systems, where patient data was encrypted and services were disrupted, highlighting how dangerous ransomware attacks can be. To combat ransomware, it's crucial for organizations to conduct regular backups, keep them off-site or air-gapped, and provide ongoing staff training to recognize phishing emails that might initiate an attack. Number 8. Cryptojacking, stealthy hijacking of your resources. Cryptojacking is another threat that has seen a resurgence. Cryptojacking involves the use of an infected device to secretly mine cryptocurrency, which consumes system resources and slows performance without the user's knowledge. Unlike other forms of malware, cryptojacking does not directly compromise sensitive data, but exploits the computational power of the victim's device. Hackers distribute cryptojacking malware through phishing emails, malicious websites, and compromised software downloads. Since these attacks are often silent, many users do not realize their devices are affected until they notice significant performance degradation. To mitigate cryptojacking, users should update their operating systems and antivirus software regularly, and enterprises should adopt endpoint detection solutions to recognize the unusual CPU activity characteristic of cryptojacking. Number 7. Fileless malware, the invisible attacker. In 2024, fileless malware has become increasingly popular among cybercriminals. Unlike traditional malware, fileless malware operates directly in a device's RAM, avoiding detection by antivirus programs that typically scan files saved on disk. Fileless malware leverages legitimate software and applications, such as PowerShell, to execute malicious scripts. This means that even well-protected systems can become compromised without ever seeing a traditional malware signature. Fileless attacks are particularly difficult to detect and mitigate since they exploit trusted tools. These attacks often start with phishing emails that direct users to click on a link or download a document, which then runs scripts to compromise the system. Advanced threat detection solutions, such as behavior-based monitoring tools and endpoint detection and response (EDR) solutions, are critical for recognizing these invisible threats and preventing them from doing harm. Number 6. Man-in-the-middle attacks, eavesdropping on your data. Man-in-the-middle attacks have grown more complex as attackers find new ways to intercept and manipulate communications between two parties without their knowledge. Common methods include intercepting unsecured Wi-Fi connections in public places like coffee shops and using fake certificates to decrypt encrypted data. The rise in encrypted traffic via hypertext transfer protocol Secure has forced attackers to adapt, often targeting weaknesses in secure sockets layer transport layer security protocols or leveraging stolen certificates to bypass encryption. Man-in-the-middle attacks can lead to stolen credentials, altered communications, or even financial theft if the intercepted data involves transactions. Statistics from 2024 show a 35% increase in man-in-the-middle attack incidents compared to the previous year, emphasizing the need for vigilance. To protect against man-in-the-middle attacks, users should only connect to trusted, secure networks, use virtual private networks for encryption, and ensure they are browsing over hypertext transfer protocol secure connections whenever possible. Number 5. Social engineering attacks, psychological manipulation. Social engineering remains a highly effective attack vector in 2024. These attacks do not exploit vulnerabilities in software, but instead target human psychology. Cybercriminals often impersonate trusted entities, such as banks, employers, or colleagues, to gain access to sensitive information. Techniques like spear phishing, smishing, SMS phishing, and vishing, voice phishing, have all increased in sophistication and frequency. One notable trend is the rise of business email compromise, where attackers use compromised accounts to send convincing messages, requesting payments or sensitive data. This has led to substantial financial losses for many companies. Employee awareness and multi-factor authentication are crucial in defending against these types of attacks. Training employees to recognize social engineering tactics and to verify unusual requests by direct communication can help mitigate these risks. Number 4. Mobile device attacks. Your phone is not as safe as you think. Mobile devices, now an integral part of both personal and professional lives, are increasingly targeted by cybercriminals. Mobile malware attacks have evolved to exploit vulnerabilities in apps that ask for excessive permissions, allowing hackers to access sensitive information stored on devices. This is particularly dangerous as smartphones carry significant personal and financial data. In 2024, there has been a spike in malware disguised as legitimate apps, including those downloaded from unofficial app stores. Hackers also exploit mobile banking apps, stealing credentials and gaining direct access to users' finances. To stay safe, users should avoid apps from untrusted sources, regularly update their software, and use mobile security apps that detect and block threats before they can execute. Number 3. Internet of Things exploits, when gadgets go rogue. As the number of Internet of Things devices increases, their vulnerabilities are becoming more apparent. Many Internet of Things devices, such as smart home gadgets and industrial sensors, lack robust security features, making them easy targets for attackers. In 2024, compromised IoT devices have been increasingly used in botnets for distributed denial of service attacks, affecting businesses and critical infrastructure. Internet of Things security is challenging because many devices are not designed with security in mind. This means that any unsecured Internet of Things device connected to a network can serve as a gateway for attackers. Recommendations for securing Internet of Things devices include regularly updating firmware, changing default passwords, and segmenting Internet of Things devices from critical systems to limit the potential damage of a compromise. Number 2. Injection attacks, manipulating your data flow. Injection attacks are widespread, particularly targeting web applications. Structured query language injection, one of the most common forms, involves inserting malicious structured query language code into queries to manipulate databases and access sensitive information. In 2024, such attacks have continued to rise, especially with automated tools that identify and exploit vulnerable inputs. Attackers also use code injection to insert malicious scripts into applications, gaining control of the target server, or performing unauthorized actions. To defend against injection attacks, developers should adopt secure coding practices, such as using prepared statements and parameterized queries, and organizations should conduct regular vulnerability assessments and code audits to identify and mitigate weaknesses. Number 1. Human error, the hacker's favorite entry point. Human error remains the primary cause of cyber attacks in 2024, with incidents often resulting from employees reusing passwords, falling for phishing, or mishandling sensitive information. High-profile breaches this year have highlighted how negligence, such as clicking phishing links or using unsecured devices, leads to major data losses. Studies reveal that over 80% of breaches can be traced back to user mistakes. To mitigate these risks, organizations should enforce security awareness training, implement a zero-trust security model, and require strong password policies to minimize vulnerabilities caused by human factors. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and subscribe, because, unlike hackers, we don't want to trick you into anything. Stay safe, stay smart, and remember, no one on the internet is giving out free cruises.